Good morning, fourth graders. So hopefully by now you guys have completed your mental math, whether it is on a sheet of paper or you submitted it on Everyday Math Online. So today now we're going to be looking at the math message. So this is the big bulk of our lesson today. So today you guys are going to focus on two different things. Making sense of the problem, so understanding what the problem is asking you to do, that's number one. Two, practice perseverance. So these big word problems or open response problems oftentimes require multiple steps. So it's easy to get frustrated and give up. So first we're going to make sense of the problem. Next, we're going to practice perseverance and we're going to keep trying even when the problem gets hard. And three, we're going to practice using clear labels, units, and mathematical language. So there is some vocabulary words that I would like you to use when we're trying to solve this math message. So you can follow along with me. We are on page 201. So if you have not completed this or at least tried it, I want you to stop and I want you to go finish it now and then come back to this video. But if you've already tried it, then you can keep watching and make any corrections that you did as I solve the problem in front of you. Okay, so let's read what they're asking us because that's the first step in making sense of any word problem. So it says, Elbert's Egg Emporium sells eggs in cartons of 1/2 dozen. So that's one of those vocabulary words I want you guys to think about. 1/2 dozen. Well, I know that if a dozen is 12, then 1/2 of 12 is 6. So 1/2 dozen is 6. And you can tell because there's 6 eggs in the picture of the carton. Every morning, Elbert collects eggs that his hens lay and packs them into the cartons. He packs as many full cartons as he can, and if he has any left over, he eats those for breakfast. So when he collects all of his eggs in the morning, he tries to fill out as many cartons of 6 eggs as he can. Anything he has left over or remaining, he gets to eat for breakfast. So one morning, Elbert collected 151 eggs. So that's a lot of eggs. He collected 151. So now he has to figure out, let's read problem 1, what they're asking us to do. How many cartons did he need for the eggs? Show your work. Be sure to include units with your answer. A lot of the times when we're solving word problems, we forget the units. So we need to make sure we're using words like cartons and eggs, because if you just put 12, it could be 12 anything. Okay, so we're going to go down a little bit, and we're going to have to write a number problem, a number story for this, a number model. So we're going to start off with the total. He had 151 eggs. He needs to divide that by 6 because there's 6 eggs in a carton to figure out how many cartons he needs. Okay, so I can't divide 151 by 6 in my head. So what I'm going to do that I'm going to find super helpful is I'm going to use that partial quotient division that we've been practicing for the last 2 lessons. So the first part is making the rectangle, and this is part of the showing your work. So if I have 6 up here and I have 151 eggs, and I'm going to write that over here, 6 division by 151, so we can subtract as we partition our rectangle. So I know that 6 times 10 gives me 60, so that's too small. I want something to get me closer to that 151. So I'm going to do 6 times 20 is 120. That's getting me close. So I'm going to go with 6 times 20. So 6 times 20 equals 120. So I'm going to put 20 on the outside, and I'm going to subtract 120 from 51 because I took 120 eggs and I made 20 cartons. of 6 eggs. So then I'm just going to subtract, and I get 31. 31 eggs left over after I made 20 cartons. So now I have to think to myself, is there a multiple of 6 that gets me close to this number 31? And the first thing that comes to mind is 6 times 5. 6 times 5 will give me 30. So I'm going to put the 5 on the outside to show how many cartons, and I'm going to subtract 30. And I get 1. Now, can I make another full carton if I only have 1 egg left? I can't, right? So I'm going to think to myself, how many cartons can I make? So if I made 20 cartons and then 5 more, I made 25 cartons. So if you wanted to put this into words instead of doing a diagram, you could have said, I divided 151 by 6. And look, I even forgot the unit. So make sure you include the unit. My answer was 25 cartons with 1 egg left over. And I could put my answer on the line, 25 cartons. And try as hard as you can to put your answer on the answer line so your teachers don't have to go around searching your work to try to figure out if you got the right answer. So now let's go down to number 2. How many eggs did Elbert eat for breakfast? Remember, he only eats the eggs that are left over after he's filled all of his cartons evenly with 6 eggs. So we knew, because we did the math up top, that 151 eggs divided by 6 gives me 25 with a remainder of 1. A remainder means how much is left over, right? We can't make another carton of 6. We only have 1 egg left. The carton wouldn't be full. So make sure that you guys are counting that as a remainder, and I wrote it as R, 25 remainder 1, 25 R 1. So if I wanted to write this with words, I can say Elbert ate the 1 egg that was left over after he distributed 150 eggs into 25 cartons with 6 eggs in each carton. And I'm going to write my answer on the line. 1 egg. He ate 1 egg for breakfast. Okay, so that was all that you are responsible for today, was completing the Elbert's egg word problem. Now, for tomorrow, because this is a 2-day lesson, because it's getting you ready for that open response problem on your progress check. So this is a 2-day lesson. So you needed to complete this for part 1. Tomorrow, I need you to complete Fruit Baskets 6-5. This document is 2 pages. It is linked inside your Google slide. You can either print it out and work on it. You can do it on a scrap paper and take a picture. If you want to email me your work, that would be great, because we're going to go through how some students solved this problem. And we're going to go through the different steps that they took and see which used the best strategy, what could we do to improve. So I have some past students' work that I'm going to use, but if you want me to send me your work, you absolutely can. Any questions, don't forget to leave them in the comment below so your teacher can answer them when they get a chance.